Hello again everyone. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, January the 7th. And I wasn't going to do another video quite so soon, but it strikes me that it might be quite helpful to see this one in action. So I've already started, and what you can see here is just rows of running stitch backwards and forwards, and I have used a cotton pearl 8. This is one of my own hand-dyed ones, but cotton pearl 8, or maybe two or three strands of DMC would be quite similar, probably 2 strands. And all I've done is staggered running stitch, so running stitch here, leave about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch in between the rows, and make the stitches alternate like this, so you end up with roughly diagonal lines like that. Okay, so you're just spacing your running stitches in between with a bit of space between them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave between these threads. And I'm going to do the weaving with this little bit of space dyed silk pearl 12. This is one of my own hand dyed threads. I don't think I've got any of this one left in the shop at the moment, but there are similar. So this, you can see it changes colour along its length. So it's sort of blues and greens and browns. So I've threaded a needle and brought it up on this, just sort of parallel with this second row. And what I'm going to do now is weave it between the running stitches. So I'm going to go up into that one, down into this one. You're only ever working with 2 rows at a time. And I'm just going to go up and down, using the eye end of the needle to pass it through because it's less likely to snag on anything. Keeping it fairly loose, you don't have to be pulling it too tight because you'll distort your fabric, but just, let it lie where it wants to. To the end of the row, and then what we're going to do is come down through this one and back up through that one. And I'm just going to turn this so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so up through that one, and I know my hands are getting in the way, can't help it. You can see how that pattern is starting to form. There is actually already a video showing this stitch, and I don't know what to call it because I kind of made it up. And then when you get down to the end of the row again, we're just going to keep going. So down through that one and up through that one. It's quite meditative, really. Just passing your needle up and down. You have to concentrate, or rather focus. You can see what a nice lattice type pattern this makes. So I'm going to do that all the way down here, and then I'm going to have a think about what to do at the edges, because we could fill those in, or we could leave it as a kind of stripe. When you're ready to, when your threads run out and you're ready to start a new thread, you need to bring your needle up, kind of where you would have started weaving. So just above this, in this case, it's just above this stitch here, so that we can then start, carry on exactly as we were. So you kind of get an invisible join there. I'm just doing the last thread here. And I'm just going to have a look at it, and I'm deciding whether I want to leave this plain border down the side, and I don't think I do. So the way to fill in this border when there isn't another stitch there to weave through is just to take a little tiny running stitch where that other stitch would have been. So a little running stitch where you would have woven upwards, and then weave down as normal, and that will just fill in that edge. So this little running stitch is parallel with this stitch in the previous row, but that, you can see that that's filling in that side gap quite nicely. So I will do the same on this edge, and then I think we're about done. And there it is finished. So I've just finished filling in this edge here, and it's a really pretty pattern, very easy to do. What you end up with eventually, when you've completed the whole year, is firstly a giant sampler, and secondly a really useful stitch library. So it's a really good opportunity to practice new stitches or new combinations of very simple basic stitches, different colour combinations, different textures, just to see how it works. It's a very small, well, it's a relatively small area to fill every day, and it's, you know, the perfect place to experiment, and you'll end up with something that you'll probably refer to many times over the years. So there we are, that's the 7th of January, and I will be back with another video at some point soon-ish. See you then.